All right, what's going on? How's everyone doing out there? Let's see, how'd we do? 4 minutes? That's not bad. That's not bad.
4 minutes of panic.
Yeah, sorry guys. It is my fault. We were doing trying to get our sound to work, and anyway, I was trying to figure it out. Sorry. Um, anyway, we are so excited to have the awesome Jennifer Batten on the live stream right now with the guitar, and I like the blue backdrop.
Oh, that's a green screen, and
Oh,
with a blue flip side. And I wish it was bigger. I, all these gears behind me. Apparently, the streaming gremlins don't want to see too much behind you.
right. Oh, yeah. Good point. I mean, we've been in the streaming world kind of now for a year. Yeah.
It, you call it world, I call it hell, but at least we can communicate with people.
Yeah. So what have you been the last year musically? How have you adapted and what you've been doing? And people are just starting to tune in right now, so I want to remind people again that we've got Jennifer Batten here as well. And just right off the bat, and we should keep coming back to it. Jennifer, one, thank you for being here. I'm going to talk about a few friends we have in common actually, even though this is the first time we've ever talked. Literally, we were in the silent lip reading right before we went live. So I'm literally meeting you for the first time live right now, and it's awesome. But I want to talk and keep reminding people that you have a guitar symposium. Is that the right description?
GuitarCloudSymposium.com. Yeah, coming up next weekend, April 16 to 19, with special guest Steve Lukather. Which there's going to be
Ah.
some crazy ass stories coming out of that man.
So do you are you based in Los Angeles?
No, I escaped 17 years ago.
Okay.
I was flying home one time from my many trips around the planet, and I thought, I really don't need to be here. I mean,
Right.
at a certain point, and especially as the world gets more and more virtual, you could live just about anywhere,
Right.
anywhere that has internet, so you can be in live streaming hell.
Yeah, like we get to experience now and again. Now, I want to remind everyone too that the link for this guitar, and you can describe, besides having Steve Lukather, we'll talk about a little bit more about what's going on. But I just want to let people know that you're watching this on YouTube right now. Some are watching on Facebook right now, but on YouTube, I have a link for the Guitar Cloud Symposium that's happening really soon, right?
Yeah, next Friday we launch.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so is Steve Lukather gonna do a little like masterclass kind of thing, or?
No, when I went to guitar school, which was at MI when it was only guitar, it was called GIT,
Yeah.
the Guitar Institute of Technology. Every month we would have some monster guitar player come in, and it was really special and stuck with me all these years. We'd have Pat Metheny, Lee Ritenour, Larry Carlton, all kinds of crazy players. And I thought, gosh, I know so many players from traveling all these decades. I'm just going to call them up and see what they say. So the first one that we did was last August. I had Scott Henderson. He was teaching at MI when I was there. I had done a tour with Andy Timmons and Uli John Roth several years ago, so I called Andy. Um, it's kind of late for people in Europe because it's like 4 in the afternoon Pacific for that portion. So
Right.
I'm kind of hesitant to call people that live over there and say, "Can you start at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning and hang with my students?"
Right. Right.
so, and then I had Steve Vai joined us, and it was so cool. He stayed for well over 2 hours, and it was transformative. I mean, he got into philosophy and stories, and it was, I think, for students to have access to somebody at that level is just crazy. Normally they would never ever think they'd have a chance to ask him a question about something. And then the next month I had Dweezil, and I got Steve Lukather coming up this time. So it's really fun for me to invite people, and it's a fun hang for me. But
Absolutely. Now, I want to also remind people again, we've got Jennifer Batten here, and I have my friend Brian here. Brian, what's up?
Hello, everybody.
But so anyway, you guys, even though it doesn't look like I'm staring at, down at your comments, Brian is actually checking them out. So if you have any questions for Jennifer, Brian is watching, so he's gonna chime in hopefully with maybe some some engaging questions. And also Jennifer, while we're at it, once again got the link for the Guitar Cloud Symposium that you are a part of, right? And so Angela Petrilli, right?
Yeah. She
Petrelli?
taught last year with us. God, it seems so long ago. Last year.
Yeah, the last year's very strange. So I want to say, yeah, that I know her. I met her a couple years ago, and so I saw I just happened to know her. But I'm actually really good friends with Glenn Sobel,
Oh, okay.
who is a drummer that I think played on one of your albums,
He
or
did. Yeah, the
yeah.
record called Momentum, and it was Glenn. We rehearsed in his mother's shoe closet. All you could fit was bass, drums, and guitar. And she was a ballerina, so she had hundreds of shoes. It was a whole thing. But there was a hole in the wall where his stick would always hit. And man, I can't imagine the concussion of sound of being in a closet with a drummer now. And I'm sure that has led to some of my hearing loss. But
Ah,
yeah, Glenn's great. He's a monster player.
oh
And in
yeah.
fact, I knew Terry Bozzio, and I was looking for a drummer, and I called up Terry, knowing that he wouldn't do it. But I said, "Can you recommend somebody?" He said, "Glenn." I go, "Sold."
Yeah, yeah. I gotta say, Glenn is such a professional, very prepared, on time, all the things that you would ever want. Um, so anyway, yeah, we played some music together, and he mentioned you. But I will say this: I've seen you perform at least 3 times in my life.
Oh,
And two of them were the Michael Jackson Bad tour,
yeah, okay,
because my at the time stepmom worked in radio, and I grew up in Orange County.
okay.
So I got some tickets. I got to go with them, but then also went with my mom and stepdad. So it was one of those times where, uh, you know, being a child of divorce, I sometimes got to go to those big events twice, so both parent could take me. But then also, I definitely saw you with Jeff Beck.
Ah,
How long were you in Jeff Beck's band, or like I'm trying to think where it was.
it was 3 years. It was the You Had It Coming record, and the Who Else record was prior to that.
Did you play at a Crossroads festival with Jeff Beck?
No, never did one of those. No.
Okay. Well, then I saw because I've seen Jeff Beck more than once, so it was definitely one of those times because I remember. Now, uh, I think the before I Brian, do you have any questions?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. I got one. I've got Jennifer myself, so I want to take advantage of this. But if you guys are just tuning in, uh, Jennifer Batten is here, the amazing guitar player. Most known but not limited to playing with Michael Jackson and Jeff Beck. You're your own amazing guitarist in your own absolute own right. But the question I want to ask is it's the important burning question. What was peak hair height for you? Like, did they just keep trying to get it higher and higher until you couldn't fit in the elevator anymore? Or
Sometimes taxis were an issue. I think kind of go like that. It depends if you count the fiber optics,
I was
because
just gonna say, now I remember you being lit up with like lasers and
yeah,
like full Robotron lead guitar player. But I gotta say, the lasers, the huge hair and all that, that is like just shows you the difference of being like in a stadium kind of act as opposed to like a bar band, right? Everything has to be larger than life. Plus, you're playing with Michael Jackson, so it's kind of like where do you go from there? But they had you were rigged all over the place, guitars, like I mean, that's insane.
It was a whirlwind, absolutely. Because I was in 5 or 6 different original bands in Hollywood at the time, and you would play with at least 2 other bands and hope that the audience didn't hate you. you know, Hope
Yeah.
that the entire audience wasn't for the next band, and hope that your gear didn't get ripped off as you were hauling things out to Hollywood Boulevard. Um, and just bam, I'm in the biggest tour in the world, and it was daunting, but I really didn't have time to think about it that much. It's like, it was like joining the army. It's like, bam, your life has changed instantly, and you're
Yeah.
going to work for 8, 10 hours every single day, working on tunes, playing with the band. It was actually, the first tour was the most intense because everything was new. Um, the band was in one room for a month by ourselves, and we were given cassette tapes. This was,
Yeah.
1987, of the Victory Tour. So we learned that stuff, and only a couple songs off of Bad, because he wanted everything that he played for the audience to have been on the radio and be a hit already.
Yeah.
So at that time, they released "I Just Can't Stop Loving You" and "Bad," and maybe one more that we learned. And man, it was so intense. And one of the things I got from that is the power of rehearsal. Man, you rehearse that much. By the time you hit the stage in Tokyo, there's no question about what's the first chord of the bridge.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's the next song? Everything down to the costume changes, and the pyro is so choreographed and the exact same every night. And singers were in one room by themselves, and dancers also. And then the second month, we all joined together in a big sound stage with all the special effects and pyro and craziness, and got the staging together. And one by one, that we would be plucked out of rehearsal and come back transformed. Like, boom, your hair's white now.
You went through the popinator machine converter tube.
Yeah.
The tube thing turns and you come back out the pod, or like the pod, the Spinal Tap pod. Looks more like
Yes.
an alien pod
I,
that
I think
opens. You come
I was one
in,
of his. I was one of his special effects.
smoke comes out, and you've got lasers coming out of your guitar. Let's see. I gotta play something real quick. Let's see. Sorry, had to do that. But something that not everyone has experienced is when you see one of those iconic concerts of one of the great, whoever's like the biggest in the world in that moment, like an Elvis is a perfect example, or the Beatles isn't it,
Yeah.
really is who I think of, right? And so to actually experience seeing Michael Jackson live, I also went to the Jackson, I grew up in Orange County, LA area. So I got to see the great shows that came through, and I got to see that Jackson Victory Tour
Hmm.
twice because of my parents being divorced. So I saw that twice too. And there's just, it's hard to describe that. I know when you see the Beatles, it's the same thing, or if you got the chance to do that.
Yeah.
But the power of the energy of the artist and the audience giving back and forth, that synergy that it creates is beyond, it's really hard to describe. And I know you get to actually experience that from the stage side of that. And I'm sure it's just got to be something, obviously just an incredible experience and memory that you'll, carry with you forever, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's a common question. Like, what does it feel like to play for 50,000 people? And honestly, it always felt surreal. There was a
Yeah.
part of me that felt like I wasn't even there. you know?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was just reading about this that because you were in that Super Bowl with Michael Jackson,
Hmm.
but before that year, hadn't like the TV comedy show Living Color created like a counter broadcasting Super Bowl halftime show, because usually the Super Bowl halftime show before Michael Jackson was just like marching and like drum cadets and things. And so these networks created like competitive counter programming for the Super Bowl, and they lost a bunch of their audience. And so the next year, they're like, we want the biggest thing in the world, so we don't lose the audience. We want it. So literally, that Michael Jackson performance was the creation of what we now think of as that Super Bowl halftime concert, where it's always like big pop acts.
That's actually enlightening to me because I can't think of anything that happened before. I mean, I don't watch football anyway, so
Yeah.
that would explain it. But I'm not aware of the halftime show prior
It,
to him.
yeah, I think, I mean, hey, I read it on the internet. What could go wrong? Brian, we have questions for Jennifer. I don't want to limit you,
Yeah,
the audience out there. Yeah, what's going on?
we sure do. So, people are very interested in that guitar.
Oh, that Jennifer's playing. We haven't
Right.
even gotten to Jennifer playing at all.
Let's do some Jennifer
Okay,
playing.
Jennifer, I don't want to put pressure on you. You came from some other stream, and we're doing technical issues. But if you want to play and actually talk about the guitar, I'm sure people would really dig it. And I've enjoyed talking to you, but people definitely want to hear guitar. Um,
Okay.
so it's all you.
Well, this is a Washburn Parallax. And this is a string damper on here that I use for tapping. So it keeps the strings quiet. Like if I didn't have it,
The viewership just went up as soon as you started tapping. So I think it's time for a 10-minute tap fest. Then I'll plug. So 5 minutes of tapping, not really as much as you want. Really, I'm just kidding. But if you start tapping for a while, as soon as your tapping's over, I'm gonna plug the symposium. Okay.
tapping for a
I'm,
while.
I'm just I'm just telling people my strategy. I'm just admitting to it. All right.
Okay. Well, listen to it without the damper. The same thing. Some people prefer that one, but I kind of like it cleaned up a little bit. So,
Yeah, we got. Yeah, you guys, that's Jennifer Batten. And I just want to remind you guys that she has a Guitar Cloud Symposium going on next week, just in a few days. And I've got a link for it in my YouTube channel. If you're watching it from other things right now, just go to my Marty Music YouTube channel. You'll see the link for this video. And by all means, please, you know, check out that link. And if you're interested in more guitar education, enlightenment, and cool stories from legends like Jennifer, as well as Steve Lukather, hello, chillo, then check out that link, you guys. And how'd I do, Jennifer? Was that all right?
that was good. And I'll take it further. We have coming up this time for the first time. I've had 4 core instructors since the beginning, and the core instructors this time are Gretchen Menn. She's been with us from the beginning. Vicky Genfan does acoustic and acoustic. Get the words right. Sometimes words are just so overrated, right?
I agree.
Percussive acoustic tapping, the very unique style. And actually, this time she's going to get into adding vocals to guitar as well. And one thing that we didn't count on when we launched this last August is that the alumni would keep coming back every month. So
Nice.
we're just like "Brrr, we can't teach the same thing we taught last time. So it's always evolving and morphing. And I started adding 2 more guest instructors. So Greg Koch is going to join us this time.
Oh
And
yeah. He's great. He's fantastic.
the Gristle Man is going to be teaching slide guitar in standard tuning, which is
Yeah.
appreciated because, I'm a Floyd Rose user. And I didn't, somebody asked about the guitar. I didn't get to the end of that. It's a Washburn Parallax. I got a Floyd Rose on it. Um, I actually have Velcro for the Fishman triple play because I preferred that over
Is that a
their other
MIDI
system of
a MIDI
attachment.
pickup
MIDI
for the
pickup,
Fishman?
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a bracket right here you can slip the hex pickup into. I'm using Fishman Fluence pickups, the modern and the bridge, and the two others are Strat. And this is the first. This is the first 24 fret guitar I've ever had, which was a little daunting. I was always, whole step off for a couple months. So getting used to that. And this beautiful fretwork is by a company called Neck Illusions. It's all stickers, and I
Oh,
have 6 different designs with them. And you peel them off and put different stickers on. It's like you can have a new neck every time you change your strings if you want.
hey,
And it's
that
also got the whoops. Oh, sorry,
you're fine.
sound like
It's
an
fine.
earthquake. The steep cutaway. It's a real interesting cutaway that allows you to get really high up on the neck without
Nice.
getting a bruise.
Even through the laser helmet you have on, or no, I'm just
I
just making stuff
retired.
up. Brian, do we have other opportunities for the public out there?
Absolutely. People would want to know, Jennifer, what is your favorite Michael Jackson song to play?
What was your favorite Michael
Uh,
Jackson song to play?
Surprisingly, it wasn't one of the rockers. It was Human Nature. It's
Oh,
just gorgeous. It's been a while. Yeah,
yeah.
I just love playing the parts
Oh,
and playing with people at the caliber of a Ricky Lawson and Greg Fillinganes. The groove was just, it just felt so good. In
monstrous.
fact, after a year and a half of playing with guys like that, I went back to some of the bands I had played with before, and I'm thinking, how come you guys suck now? What happened?
You got spoiled. You got spoiled.
Totally. Yeah.
Bummer. But but also cool. Yeah, that song is just, yeah. I mean, it's a perfect song, really. And because I saw him perform 4 different times, and he definitely played that at the Victory Tour and the Bad
Mm.
Tour. Um, uh, I can see it in my mind's eye.
That's
So
part of it.
powerful.
It's like the visual is melded into the song where he was surrounded in laser lights, and
Yeah.
he was one of the most graceful dancers ever.
Oh yeah.
So I have that burned in. I mean, best seat in the house to be 10 feet from him doing that every night.
Yeah, he was an okay dancer, I guess. He danced a bit. Okay, Brian, what else we got? We got time for just a couple more, you guys.
People want to know who is Jennifer's favorite guitar player?
So, people are asking who your favorite guitar player is. I know from my personal experience, it's always hard to name one. Um, but you can talk about maybe some of your influences or a few that really kind of grabbed you at that right moment in your journey.
Yeah, well, I think ever since I was 14 or so, it would be Jeff Beck, and it still is. And he's always evolving still. He's
And you got to
always
play with him. Play with him. That is such an amazing full circle that I'm so happy for you that you get to do. That
oh,
you got
thank
to
you. Yeah.
experience that.
I just wanted an autograph. And
No. I mean that is so cool, and it's also nice. I mean, like I said, we just met for the first time right now, but hopefully, because sometimes you don't want to meet those heroes. You put them on a untouchable pedestal that's not even realistic. Especially like
yeah,
teenage idols and things like that.
sure.
But it sounds like it was an amazing experience for you.
It was well, there's no words because no words are
Yeah,
coming out.
yeah. I
Yeah,
just saw him recently when he did a tour with uh, Ann Ann Wilson. Do you do a co
yeah, I saw that tour. I was in New
I
York
saw
at
that
that
tour. I was
time.
in New York at that time.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
wonderful
yeah.
tour.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know if you know the session guitar player Tim Pierce
Sure.
in Los Angeles area. Tim Pierce, yeah, he worked on that Ann Wilson album, so I got to go with him as a guest. But
Uh,
but yeah, it was also Paul Rogers on that.
Paul has not lost a thing. Oh my God,
He
he was so good.
he's he's pretty swaggericious. Okay, one more question, Brian.
Yeah, Jennifer, are you excited to be able to play live again soon.
Are you excited to play live
I
or?
am.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, so with that, and also you guys just want to remind you to check the link here on the Marty Music YouTube video for this. If you're watching somewhere else, check the link for Jennifer's guitar cloud
Cloud Symposium.
symposium.
We play guitars. It's up in the cloud, and
And
it's a
Steve
once-a-month
Lukather,
thing.
among many other amazing talents.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like a guitar smorgasbord because we go from slide guitar to tapping to sweeping to
Sweet.
all these different techniques. And in fact,
Right up
I'm
my alley.
doing uh, we're doing gypsy jazz for the first time too with
Ooh,
a buddy of mine, Mundo Julerat. So,
nice. So, okay, so the next year for you, what is that? What do you plan on? What hopefully, our best case scenario of things, like what do you hopefully plan to be doing for the next year?
you know, I will say in the last 2 years, I have been kind of focused on not traveling as much and trying to figure out how to do that because when I'm 80 years old and I got no teeth, I don't want to be jumping on a plane because I have to. So I've done
Yes.
a couple different things. I started a cover band locally in Portland, Oregon, and we're doing some summer festival stuff, outdoor shows, and I've got a. I played with a Michael Jackson tribute band in the UK. That I've done that the last 4 or 5 years. Really great guys, always great musicians. So that stuff got canceled when the pandemic happened. So I'm going back and doing that in August. There's another one in Brazil that is one of the best production shows I've ever seen. I'm doing that. But the school, Guitar Cloud Symposium, is my number one focus. I really want this to grow. And we've had people from Zimbabwe, from Mexico, from Ireland, from you name it. And it's just developed into this really cool community of people that speak the same language. Like there was one woman that said, her friends don't understand why she wants to play guitar at age 40, but she comes to us and it's like this warm hug of welcome.
Yeah.
we
Oh,
can
that's
we can
that's
serve up what
awesome.
you need. So
Love it. Brian, last one.
Yeah, mostly people just want to hear you play
They just
more.
want to hear you play a bit. How can I do? There's a little superstition here on these live streams. I have to
yeah,
play just like one time through Johnny Be Good. Uh,
I like it.
so what I was thinking is I'll do my little thing. I'm playing it in B flat. I'll just end it because we can't jam together, obviously. But
Yeah.
I'll just end it, and you can just blaze through some B flat, Johnny Be Good for a sec. Is that all right?
Okay.
I'm putting you on the spot, but I know it's going to be amazing, and everyone else knows too. So I have my little looper here, but once I'll just say take it away. It doesn't have to fit perfectly in time, but you can just rip it up, and then we'll head out. And once again, you guys, thank you to Jennifer Batten for being here, and please check out her education, guitar stuff, her website. All the links will be in this video. Guitar Cloud Symposium as well. All right, let's hear you.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit there.
that that was really fun. thank you for indulging me, I guess would be the right word. Um, I just want to wish you the best, and I really thank you for coming on. Also, shout out to my good friend Chris Pizzolo, who brought us together today.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Thank you, Chris.
yes, thank you, Chris. I pretty much would say yes to almost anything Chris asks. He's a great guy. But yeah, it was an honor to have you, especially as a fan. Before I played guitar, you blew my mind in those,
Oh, thanks.
moments of pinnacle moments of ever seeing a show in my life you were part of. So thank you for that. And you guys check the link for the Guitar Cloud Symposium. And that's it. Thank you again. We'll see you all real soon.
Okay.
But you
Au
have to leave here
revoir.
now. People, not Jennifer, but other people. You can go.